120 days off of cocaine that he was self-medicating his PTSD with because of cannabis oil that I gave him. Once he went home and stopped taking it, the results came right back. He was looking for something to self-medicate with. He also laid down drinking a fifth of liquor because of the cannabis extract. There's some testimony of that on YouTube from Washington, D.C., because I work up there too. But those are some of the big ones that have come out lately that prove that cannabis has medical value. So my prayer is that when we go to Washington, D.C. next month, our government finally takes cannabis out of a non-medical state, and we start to change this in this country. Okay, I think I've pretty much gone through a lot of what I wanted to tell you. A little bit more about myself. There's a movie called The Exile Nation Project. If you want to know me a little better, go into Google and Google The Exile Nation Project. My daughter and I are both in that movie. We both did 30-minute testimonies, and it'll let you know a little bit more of how my life has kind of come full circle like Tommy Chong's did. In my younger years, I was a recreational user. Then quit for 10 years, and then I got sick. So my whole focus has changed on cannabis now since learning about the oil and being alive to watch my babies and being a mom and being there knowing that I shouldn't be. And it makes it very hard for me because people will contact me and ask me about the cannabis oil. How do I get the cannabis oil? How do I do the cannabis oil? Is it going to work? I can't give you any guarantees. I can only tell you that it's worked for me. And I've seen it work for other people. I'm connected with thousands of patients across this country and in other countries that are using the cannabis oil. And I hear good news a whole lot more than I hear bad news. But here's some comments that people sent me in from around the world and in different states that they wanted me. I put a post up on Facebook. Tell me what you'd like me to say to President Obama. Because I tell you what, if there was even an inkling of a chance that I'd vote for that man, he's going to have to earn my vote. Because he lied to us in 2008. He told us he was going to do something about these medical marijuana laws, and he was going to decriminalize marijuana and stop putting nonviolent people in prison. How many of you know that a marijuana smoker for possession is arrested in this country every 30 seconds? So as long as I've been up here on this stage, there's been a bunch of people arrested for marijuana. And our tax dollars are putting those people in prison when they take a piss test for probation, fail it, and then end up having to go to prison. And I would imagine the numbers are staggering at the people that get put in prison because they fail a urinalysis for marijuana. You fail a urinalysis for marijuana in this state, you get to have your child taken away from you. It's just absolutely ridiculous what we're doing to people over a plant that has never killed a human being in the history of mankind. And that's where God comes back into it. I don't think God's mad at me for using a plant that has never killed a human being in over 7,000 years of use. Even our government data reports that. But I'm going to get into some of the comments, and I'm going to read the person's name and the state they're from, and then I'll say a few closing statements and we'll finish up for today. From North Carolina, Lydia Zaharias. Regulation can save the country more money than prohibition, Mr. Obama. More people will get treatment if needed. Mass incarceration will be eliminated, but only a legal substance can be regulated. From the Netherlands, Gerard Hugh. Cannabis has been the thin green line between life or death for me. I published this when I lived in England, but I am now in the Netherlands as the British government and national unhealthy non-service policies almost killed me and then just left me to die, and made my life a misery when I was trying to help myself be as pain-free as possible and get better using cannabis. So our country's not the only country going through this. This is a worldwide problem. And I stand on this stage today representing the world on this issue at the National Democratic Convention in this ratty little field with gravel and dirt on the ground. They're all standing up here with me, and they're all saying the same things, that we've got to change these laws, not just in the United States, but in the world. Alaska, Ender Wiggin. Mr. Obama, we've spent decades waging a war against American citizens. You have sacrificed our liberties, billions of dollars, and an entire generation of children to a failed policy built on lies. You have turned society's protectors into enforcers, our children into slaves and felons, and the American dream is somehow becoming a joke. Prohibition is on the wrong side of history. What do you want your legacy to be? We will not forget. We will not forgive. Expect us. Ohio, Michael Rivercombe Hickman. In 2010, the National Drug Abuse Council proclaimed through government-provided drug surveys that children say marijuana is easier to obtain than alcohol or tobacco. That should concern people. When kids are saying, we can get pot a whole lot easier than we can get cigarettes or alcohol, it's because cigarettes and alcohol are regulated and drug dealers don't check IDs. As parents and grandparents, you should be worried about this. It means prohibition still doesn't work. California, Sheila Schiffman, wishing you all the success as you work so hard on our behalf. My only comment is this to Mr. Obama. We need to protect the suffering of our beloved America. It is the right thing to do. Colorado, Jocelyn Walsh. Tell Mr. Obama we are counting on him to see the bigger picture for people and this country. Julia Rose, it's time for an honest conversation about marijuana. You can hear the truth from police, scientists, patients, business owners, filmmakers, politicians, students, lobbyists, and my own child on Cannabis Nation Radio. My daughter did a radio show for her. She's an awesome lady. So remember that, Cannabis Nation Radio. Wayward Bill from Colorado of the American, I work with him with Overgrow, says, this election year, don't occupy Wall Street, occupy cannabis. I think we have some Occupy people down here. Also, I want to make a special mention to the Human Solution out of California, Katrina Coleman. The pin that I'm wearing today came from them to wear here in honor of their organization. And they're trying to unite everybody, and that's something that needs to happen. A lot of people don't understand medical marijuana. A lot of people don't understand hemp. A lot of people don't understand those of us that support adult recreational use. But on some level, we have to unite. But this is what came in from the Human Solution. You have a unique opportunity to represent the American woman, the American marijuana patient. My advice would be a woman and represent those of us that can't be there. And that's what I did today. California, Gary Clayton. This is a civil rights issue. We have a right to this medicine. Obama must reschedule cannabis in his second term. And Mr. Obama, if you're elected, please, we've got to work on this issue. Kathleen Shannon of Montana. Be sure you tell Mr. Obama that cannabis works on Crohn's, chronic pain, and cancer, and the lack of toxicity from one medicine that helps with all of the above. British Columbia, Michael Jensen. Throw in a good words for dads and moms for marijuana, and I did. So I love you, Michael. I have a friend in Germany that risked his life being an activist over there. His name is Horst DeMeyer, and he did a little video recently in English, Horst Declaration. He wears a helmet because he's afraid they're going to shoot him in the head over there. But this is what Horst from Germany had to say to President Obama. Dear Mr. President, my name is Horst. I live in Berlin. Horst is guilty because nearly all countries, Germany as well, fight a war on drugs. This war was based by the USA. Nobody can win this war because nature will all time grow, and it is a gift from God. Please, Mr. President, stop this war. Lay down American imperialism forces. Get your United States forces home. Qualify them in future techniques like solar and energy. Return the USA to the circle of life. Free cannabis and your natives. Close Guantanamo. Humanity has no more time for war. The solution is only one: love. God bless the world.